Every gambler at some point asks the same question, sometimes quietly, sometimes out loud, sometimes after a win, and almost always after a loss. Is it actually possible to beat the house long term? It's a question wrapped in hope, skepticism, and curiosity. Casinos wouldn't exist if the answer were simple, but players wouldn't keep coming back if the answer were always no. The truth lives in the uncomfortable space between those extremes, and understanding it is one of the most important steps any gambler can take. To answer this question honestly, we need to start with why casinos exist in the first place. Casinos are not built on luck or superstition. They are built on mathematics. Every game on the casino floor is designed with a built-in house edge, a small statistical advantage that ensures the casino will profit over time. This edge is not about winning every hand or spin, but about winning eventually across millions of bets placed by thousands of players. Long-term is where the house thrives. One of the most important concepts players need to understand is house edge, because it is often misunderstood as a guarantee of loss rather than a long-term average. House edge represents how much of every dollar wagered the casino expects to keep over time. A 5% house edge does not mean you lose 5% every session. It means that across thousands or millions of bets, the casino's profit converges toward that number. Short-term wins are not evidence that the edge isn't real. They are evidence that variance exists. Closely related to house edge is expected value, or EV. Expected value answers a simple but powerful question. If I played this game an infinite number of times, what would my average result be? A negative EV means the game costs money to play in the long run, even if it occasionally produces large wins. Many players focus on payout size instead of EV, which is why games with huge jackpots but terrible odds remain popular. Return to player, or RTP, is often marketed as a player-friendly statistic, but it can be misleading without context. An RTP of 96% sounds generous, but it still means the casino keeps 4% of all money wagered over time. More importantly, RTP does not describe how that return is delivered. A game can have a high RTP but extremely high variance, meaning long losing streaks punctuated by rare big wins. Casinos know that players tend to overvalue the possibility of a big payout and underestimate the cost of waiting for it. Variance itself is a psychological trap. High-variance games create dramatic emotional swings that feel meaningful, even when outcomes are random. Low-variance games feel boring by comparison, even though they often cost less to play over time. Casinos strategically mix both types of games on the floor, ensuring that excitement and financial drain work together. Players who don't understand variance often misinterpret normal losing streaks as bad luck, or worse, as a signal to chase losses. In most casino games, the house edge is absolute. Slot machines, roulette, keno, and lottery-style games offer no decision-making power that can overcome their mathematical disadvantage. No strategy, system, or intuition can change the expected value of these games. Players can win in the short term, sometimes spectacularly, but over time, the math pulls results back toward the casino's favor. This is not opinion, it is probability doing exactly what it's designed to do. So why do people believe they can beat the house? Because humans experience gambling in the short term. We remember wins more vividly than losses and assign meaning to streaks. A player who walks away ahead believes skill was involved, even when luck was the only factor. Casinos rely on this cognitive bias. The house doesn't need every player to lose every session. It only needs enough players to believe that winning long-term might be possible. That said, not all casino games are equal. Blackjack stands as the most famous example of a game where the house edge can be reduced dramatically through correct play. With perfect basic strategy, favorable rules, and disciplined bankroll management, the house edge in blackjack can drop below 1%. This doesn't mean the player has the advantage, but it does mean the gap narrows enough for advanced techniques like card counting to shift the odds slightly in the player's favor under specific conditions. Card counting is often misunderstood. It does not predict outcomes or guarantee wins. Instead, it tracks the ratio of high cards to low cards remaining in the deck, allowing players to increase bets when the odds improve and decrease them when they don't. When executed perfectly, card counting can create a small, long-term edge for the player. However, it requires discipline, flawless execution, emotional control, and acceptance of variance. It is not easy, and it is not glamorous. Outside of blackjack, advantage play exists in more subtle forms. Video poker with perfect strategy on full-pay machines can offer positive expected value. Certain casino promotions, cashback offers, and loss rebates can temporarily tilt the math in the player's favor. Sports betting, unlike casino games, allows skilled bettors to exploit inefficient lines. In these cases, players are not beating luck, they are beating pricing errors. This distinction matters. Another subtle concept players rarely consider is bet frequency. Games that allow many bets per hour, like slots or fast-paced table games, extract the house edge more quickly. A low house edge game played very fast can cost more over time than a higher house edge game played slowly. This is why casinos push speed. Autoplay features, rapid dealers, and minimal downtime all increase how often the house edge applies. Casinos also rely heavily on framing effects. Losses are rarely presented as losses. Slot machines celebrate small payouts that are actually net losses. Players are conditioned to associate sound and visuals with success, even when their bankroll is shrinking. This reframing keeps players emotionally engaged while blunting their perception of cost. Recognizing this tactic helps players separate feeling from fact. A powerful but underused player tool is session accounting. Casinos want players to think in terms of individual wins and losses, not total sessions. Pro players do the opposite. They define clear session goals, stop-loss limits, and win thresholds before playing. This creates a psychological boundary that prevents emotional decision-making mid-session. Another key psychological tool is near-miss design. Near misses occur when outcomes feel close to winning, such as matching two jackpot symbols and missing the third by one position. Studies show near misses activate the brain's reward system almost as strongly as actual wins. Casinos use this effect intentionally, especially in electronic games, to increase playtime without increasing payouts. Understanding loss aversion is also critical. Humans feel losses more strongly than equivalent gains. Casinos exploit this by offering bonuses, free bets, or comps that feel like reclaiming losses. While these perks can reduce cost if used carefully, they often encourage players to gamble longer than planned. Professionals evaluate bonuses as numbers, not gifts. What all successful long-term strategies have in common is that they rely on math, not belief. They require players to think like businesses, not gamblers. That means accepting small edges, managing risk carefully, and playing large volumes to allow probability to work. It also means enduring long losing streaks without abandoning strategy. Most players fail not because the math doesn't work, but because they don't stick to it. This is where psychology becomes the real obstacle. Humans are not wired for long-term expected value. We are wired for emotion, storytelling, and immediate feedback. Casinos are designed to exploit this mismatch. Fast-paced games, sensory stimulation, and near-miss mechanics all push players toward emotional decisions. Even players who understand the math can sabotage themselves by chasing losses, increasing bets impulsively, or overstaying sessions. Another critical factor is bankroll size. Even a player with a theoretical edge can go broke if their bankroll is too small. Variance doesn't care about confidence or correctness. Professional gamblers accept that losing streaks are inevitable and plan for them. Casual players often interpret these streaks as personal failure or bad luck, abandoning strategy right when patience is required most. It's also important to understand what long-term really means. In gambling, long-term is not weeks or months, it's tens of thousands, sometimes millions of decisions. Most players never reach that scale. For them, gambling remains a short-term experience, dominated by variance. This is why the idea of beating the house feels possible, even when it usually isn't.
Casinos are fully aware that a small number of skilled players can gain an edge. They tolerate these players because they are rare, disciplined, and often less profitable than emotional recreational gamblers. When advantage players become too effective or too visible, casinos respond not by changing outcomes, but by limiting conditions. This reinforces an important truth. If beating the house were easy or common, casinos would eliminate it entirely. So why should players care whether beating the house long-term is possible? Because understanding the answer changes how you gamble. It reframes gambling as entertainment with a cost rather than income with potential. It encourages smarter game selection, better money management, and healthier expectations. It also protects players from myths that lead to harm, such as believing effort alone guarantees success. For most players, the healthiest approach is not to try to beat the house, but to minimize its edge while maximizing enjoyment. Choosing games with lower house edges, setting strict budgets, and treating losses as the price of entertainment creates a sustainable relationship with gambling. For a very small subset of players, beating the house is possible, but it requires treating gambling like a job, not a thrill. It's also worth noting that casinos do not rely on ignorance alone. They rely on complexity. The harder a game is to understand, the less likely players are to evaluate it rationally. This is why newer games often feature layers of rules, side bets, and bonus mechanics. Complexity creates cognitive fatigue, and tired players default to emotion. One of the most dangerous myths is that effort alone improves outcomes. In most casino games, effort does not change EV, it only changes how long you play. This belief keeps players engaged far beyond rational limits. Understanding which games reward skill and which don't is one of the most important distinctions an educated gambler can make. It's important to remember that casinos don't win because players are unintelligent. They win because the games are designed to exploit normal human behavior. Understanding EV, RTP, and house edge isn't about becoming cold or cynical. It's about reclaiming agency. Once you see the mechanics clearly, gambling stops being a mystery and becomes a choice. In the end, the question isn't just whether the house can be beaten, it's whether the player understands the game they're playing. Casinos win when players confuse luck with skill and short-term success with long-term reality. Education shifts that balance. The more players understand probability, psychology, and risk, the less power illusion holds. So, is it possible to beat the house long-term? In most cases, no. In a few narrow cases, yes, but only with discipline, knowledge, and acceptance of risk that most players are not prepared for. Knowing which category you're in is the real win. Because in gambling, clarity is far more valuable than confidence, and understanding the odds is the closest thing to an edge that everyone can have. And that wraps up today's video. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out and tells YouTube this is content worth sharing. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another strategy breakdown, game walkthrough, or insider tip. We've got tons of guides coming your way, and you'll want to be here when they drop. And hey,
Tell me in the comments what you want to see next, whether it's roulette strategies, blackjack tips, slot myths, virtual casino breakdowns, whatever you're curious about, let me know. Your ideas shape what we create.
Before you go, if you're serious about leveling up your casino knowledge, you have to check out the Ultimate Casino Guide. I put everything I've learned into one massive, easy-to-read resource designed to make you a smarter, more confident, more prepared player. If you've ever wondered which games actually give you the best odds, how do pros manage their bankroll so they don't blow it all in an hour, what tricks casinos use, both physical and digital, to influence your decisions, how to avoid the biggest money traps beginners fall into, then the Ultimate Casino Guide will change the way you play forever. It covers psychology, probability, strategy charts, real-world case studies, VR and online casino risks, loyalty program hacks, literally everything you need to walk into any casino and know exactly what you're doing. The link is right here on the end card. Click it and start transforming the way you play. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, play smart, and I'll see you in the next video.